So Madonna looks like a weird type of fish mixed with Jigsaw, and she's complaining. She's complaining to everyone that because I don't like the fact that she looks like Jigsaw from the Saw movies, that makes me both ageist, misogynistic, and she also blamed she literally blamed bad camera angles. So it's literally everyone's fault. It's your fault, Dane. It's my fault. It's the guy with the camera. It's everyone's fault.
That's actually the best angle you can
get. Because her forehead now looks like that brick wall inside your school, which you run your hand down.
There is no angle that can save that image, you know?
Nope.
It's definitely our fault that her soul left her body.
Before the show, I was saying, I feel bad, like, calling Madonna ugly, making fun of her appearance, until I remember that she is a human trafficker and has stolen African children from their parents.
Yep.
Remorselessly. So I don't feel bad anymore. Just keep that in mind if you're mad at us for bullying her.
You do have to like remember that sometimes. And also it's like, I go through days where I'm meaner than like others. Like I try to be more polite.
Savage yesterday, actually.
But yeah, so it says Madonna is firing back at the haters who made fun of the way her face looked at the Grammys. I would have been so funny if somebody came up to her and gave her with the old like, does your face hurt? It's killing me. That would have been good.
So here's her tweet. She said under a selfie that was very disturbing.
Oh God, it's so creepy.
The world is threatened by my power and my stamina, my intelligence and my will to survive, but they will never break me. This is all the test. And
what does that mean?
What?
What does that mean? Why do they always talk with weird word salad that doesn't mean anything?
Then Brandon Stracco replied, actually, and he said, not true. Those are all the things we love about you. We just miss seeing your beautiful face without all the unnecessary filler.
Yes.
And filters.
Yes.
Filler and filters will be the death of aging celebrities. She's clearly got a warped self-image. And then she went to Instagram as well to add a further clapback. And here's her Instagram caption after the Grammys. She said, Kim Petras and Sam Smith at the Grammys. I wanted to give the last award, which was Album of the Year, but I thought it was more important that I present the first trans woman performing at the Grammys, a history-making moment.
Wait, how did she know she was going to win?
And on top of that, she won a Grammy.
Oh, okay. I said, how did she know she was going to win? Never mind.
Well, maybe they're rigged. Yeah. And then she said, instead of focusing on what I said in my speech, which was about giving thanks for the fearlessness of artists like Sam and Kim, many people chose to only talk about close-up photos of me taken with a long lens camera by a press photographer that would distort anyone's face. Once again, I am caught in the glare of ageism and misogyny that permeates the world we live in. A world that refuses to celebrate women past the age of 45 and feels the need to punish her if she continues to be strong-willed, hardworking, and adventurous.
Wrong. I celebrated Salma Hayek repeatedly yesterday for being super hot past the age of 45.
Also, I bet that Madonna looked way better at age 45 than her current age at 64 before she had all of these fillers.
Yep.
She then said, I have never apologized for any of the creative choices I have made, nor the way that I look or dress, and I'm not going to start. I've been degraded by the media since the beginning of my career, but I understand that this is all a test, and I'm happy to do the trailblazing so that all the women behind me can have an easier time in the years to come, getting exorbitant amounts of face filler.
The rotator cuff surgery that's going to be required for that much patting themselves on the back is
Then she said, in the words of Beyonce, you won't break my soul. I look forward to many more years of subversive behavior, pushing boundaries, standing up to the patriarchy, and most of all, enjoying my life. Bow down, bitches.
As she's literally held up by rich white dudes running the music industry.
This reminds me of when Megan Fox wore that see-through gown at the VMAs, and then another like cutout gown at the Met Gala, and she posted the pictures side by side on Instagram and said, don't mind me, I'm just destroying all of your thoughts and stereotypes of how a woman should be. Because people were like, I guess, shaming her for dressing in skimpy outfits, which I didn't see. This is just like astroturfing backlash that never existed. And for Madonna, it's only that people are genuinely worried about her psyche.
Because you're old and you're ugly. And
I was going to say, the one thing she doesn't look like in that picture is old.
The last thing people are making fun of her for is aging. They're making fun of her
refusal to age.
She clearly can't accept that she is aging. That is what you're being mocked for.
It's not the last thing.
Also,
she would look 10 times better if she didn't do all of this stuff to her appearance.
This was my favorite, though. Somebody says Susanna Hoffs is the same age as Madonna.
What?
Owned.
Good for her.
Way hotter.
Get her surgery.
And I also looked at her speech, and once again, she's just one of these celebrities that spins a narrative that she's subversive and she's in league with all the rest of these artists that are really countercultural, but in reality, they're controlling the show.
Yeah.
In fairness, she
said-
was when she was younger.
Well, yeah, but now she can't accept that she's been replaced.
Dude, that's
by a
every
new class.
boomer. I feel like every generation
She is
except
the housing market created by boomers.
every generation except boomers understood that, okay, it's time to go on to a different phase of my life.
What do you
We've
think that
reached
is?
like shock value inflation where you just keep upping the ante over and over until we
not
have
upping
no boundaries left to push.
But they're barely upping it. They're just doing the same thing they were doing in the early 2000s, except for it's still like the Kim Petra stuff. That's different. That's like gender ideology. But Madonna's not doing that. Madonna's just doing the same thing she was doing in the 90s and claiming it's still subversive when it's not. Subversive would be her joining a convent. That would be actually subversive.
I hope that she wouldn't be allowed within 100 feet of one.
That would be actually subversive. If she made like a gospel album and started dressing modestly. That would be subversive.
Well, you see what happens when you're a mainstream artist that makes a gospel album.
Yeah.
It happened to Kanye, and
yeah,
look at him
good point.
now. So that's the way it goes in this industry.
Also,
so
yes-
here's what she said in her speech before Kim Petras and Sam Smith performed. She said, "I'm here to give thanks to all the rebels out there forging a new path and taking the
God.
heat for it.
So
you guys need
rebellious,
to know,
dude.
all you troublemakers out there need to know that your fearlessness does not go unnoticed.
By Fortune
You are-
500 companies,
You
it
are
does not go
seen,
unnoticed.
you are heard,
Seen, heard.
and most of all, you're appreciated." And she said, "Here's what I've learned after 4 decades in music. If they call you shocking, scandalous, troublesome, problematic, provocative, or dangerous, you are definitely onto something.
You
Tell
heard it
that
first.
to MIA.
I heard
Tell that to-
racism is problematic. Does that mean that she supports
Tell
racism?
that to
Madonna
Kanye.
supports racism.
Everyone share that on Twitter.
Madonna
People call her any of that stuff? Like,
she calls herself that.
Maybe
stuff.
they
Right.
did in the
because
70s,
this
Yeah.
doesn't seem very dangerous
80s.
at this
the
point.
80s.
You know
80s.
whose fault this is? This is Brett's fault, and I'll tell you why. On the first live stream we had of PCC, Elon Musk's mom was on Sports Illustrated, and Brett Dasowik, this guy, he was like, "Yes, queen." And we were all like, dude, this is weird and uncouth.
Did I say
And
that?
your endorsement of old ladies being weird has taken us here, Brett Dasowik.
Better than fat chicks.
Old ladies better than fat chicks? Well, now you got Brett's power ranking.
I mean, if you have to choose between the two, I guess.
Also, like, how much of this could be taken away with a wet wipe? Like, is that a lot of it? Is it makeup or is it filler?
This is filler.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
that's
like
just. That's I don't even know.
it's reversible because you can get it dissolved, but
wouldn't
at
the
that
opposite
point
be to
you've
get the-
stretched your skin to the point where
Yeah.
it won't elasticize
Well,
back.
see, then she would look old
It's
because
less-
the wrinkles would be there.
Right, there are less consequences when
Thank
you
you.
get fillers as a young person because your skin will, shrink back a little bit. But if you're older and you don't have the collagen,
Yeah.
then you're kind of stuck at this point. So now, like, I don't know what I would do if I were her. And she probably has these doctors who want to, like, swindle her that are telling her she needs more.
I do feel bad sometimes making fun of her, but at the same time,
No, I don't-
she brings down herself.
If you
It's the
remember the fact that she has stolen African children from their families
Beyond that, just
by
like
lying to them.
the patting yourself on the back for doing absolutely nothing provocative or remarkable is worthy of chastising.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I mean, when I remember what she's done to literally, like, helpless children,
Also, remember, she's
And
got kids, so
the exploitation she's facilitated with her nonprofit.
So she
I don't
has
feel bad at
kids.
all.
She's got kids, right? Imagine if, like, this was your mom or a friend, even a friend of yours mom. Like,
Dear
it's
God.
not normal behavior, right?
Well, it's like Britney Spears' teenage
Yeah.
son
Yeah.
Literally being bullied by his classmates probably because his mother is posting full frontal nudity on Instagram. Like, it's just OD. Like, you got to stop or have somebody else stop you.
Have you ever seen those memes? It's like when your parents your parents come into school to talk about their job, and your mom who has an OnlyFans comes in, and the kid's crying.
That's hilarious.
Like, it's like
we live in a dystopia.
That's gonna happen.
That's the world. It's like, well, they won't call it that. They'll call it something else. She's like, she's got a fan account.
That'll be the next Lips Up TikTok
She's got her own production company of one.
Yes.
It's an adult one.
She is both performer, filmer, editor, and more.
Does it all.
I love that the effects of like being a woke wannabe shock jock actually show on the outside, though. Like, in your physiognomy, you become repulsive and difficult to even lay eyes on when you are this insufferable of a person.
Jeez, Mary,
it
I'm right
reflects
here.
on the outside.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell just by looking at one of these people that they're spiritually decayed on the inside. And like, people are circulating pictures of Sam Smith from the paparazzi now doing the same thing. And once again, I don't feel bad. You made a fool of yourself. You brought this on yourself.
It's also
you wanted
annoying.
the backlash and the controversy, and you got it.
What would the perfect world to them look like where ageism doesn't exist? Would it just be her doing this and everyone celebrates her? That's not a realistic world. That's not the world we live in. There isn't a world where you don't get criticism.
Right. I think she thinks like, if you're a woman over 45, then everyone should just celebrate everything you do.
But then if you're under 45,
because you've earned it.
But here's the thing. But if you're over 45, it's ageism and misogyny. But if you criticize a woman and she's under 45, it's just misogyny.
It's sexual
They've
objectification.
got literally a tier for every stage of womanhood where they can complain and not have to take responsibility for their own actions.
I mean, it's not just women though, right? Because you see Harry Styles dressing up like a
even
little
worse.
girl, prancing about on stage.
That's just celebrity. That's celebrity privilege.
You know,
it's like
he's
even
dressing
know
like the
what
fairy
that
godmother, and then when he gets awards and accolades, he can say, "Oh, like this never happens to people like me," and then the rebuttal is obviously like, "I actually don't see this happen for anybody except people like you," and you think you're the spiritual successor to stars like David Bowie, like Prince.
Yep.
Oh, is that what that's about?
Like Freddie Mercury,
Yeah.
and you're simply not like any of them, even in your appearance. But you also don't have sex with men, so
He's
that's
appropriating
true.
you're not
culture.
really
that we know of.
investing
Well, Prince wasn't.
in the
Yeah,
image.
he needs to go.
I just found out, by the way, that Prince was a Jehovah's Witness, which is like crazy. Imagine Prince just knocking on your
I
door.
thought he was a Catholic.
I didn't know he was.
I'm pretty sure Prince was a Jehovah's Witness.
When he had sex with men.
Somebody in the chat will have to let me know that. I thought Prince was a Catholic.
Let me know.
I love when Mary spreads fake news. It's my best.
It's my favorite
part of the podcast.
activity on the internet is intentionally spreading misinformation.
So
You-
I'm gonna settle the poll here then, since we're
Okay.
on the topic here now, guys. It looks like
see it.
overwhelmingly it is believed that Jigsaw did it better.
Really?
Jigsaw did it better. So you can
Yeah.
see it in
it was a decisive victory.
This photo right here. Here it is. Jigsaw did it better. 88%.
Well, the people spoke.
Loves it.
Jigsaw's also has the funny thing is what Jigsaw is wearing right there is what I thought Sam Smith should have worn to that's what he could have done to be less embarrassing to himself. Just wear a red tie and a black suit.
You know what's funny? Sam Smith looks like Satan from the South Park movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.